next guest is another familiar face here on Hold 'em Accountable. Floyd Taylor is a returning guest and an independent candidate for Indiana's 9th Congressional District. And if you listen to our first conversation with Floyd, you already know that his campaign is different. I don't mean Democrat different. I don't mean Republican different. I don't even mean Libertarian different. Floyd is running on the argument that the fundamental relationship between voters and their representatives is broken. His campaign rejects PAC money and other major donors, emphasizes radical transparency, and proposes something that would dramatically change the way a member of Congress makes decisions. Rather than going to Washington with a traditional political platform and voting based solely on his own positions, Floyd wants to create a system where residents of Indiana's 9th District can directly weigh in on legislation and hold their representative accountable for following the will of the people. It's ambitious. It's unconventional. Whether you think it's brilliant, impossible, or somewhere in the middle, it raises some fascinating questions about representation, democracy, technology, what exactly we elect members of Congress to do. Since Floyd last joined us, the primary has ended. The general election field has taken shape. The voters across a district stretching from Bloomington and Bedford to communities along the Ohio River are beginning to decide who they want representing them in Washington. So today, there's no formal 10-question checklist, no hold 'em or fold 'em. Floyd and I are just going to have a conversation about his campaign, his vision for direct representation, and whether an independent candidate can break through a political system dominated by two parties. Floyd, welcome back to Hold 'em Accountable. It's great to have you here again.
Thanks for having me. It's always fun.
Floyd, let's start where I've been starting with all of our returning candidates. A lot has happened since our first conversation. Primary is over, general election field is taking shape, and you've had more time to travel the district and explain what is a pretty unconventional campaign. What has changed for Floyd Taylor since the last time you sat down with us?
Not a lot has changed for me. I still have the same campaign, the same app. I've written a few more bills and put them on my website. I think that's the biggest change for anything that I've done. I don't get out a lot, so I don't talk to a lot of people. I work full time, so it's after work and close. I'm not going to drive an hour to go see somebody as much as I'd like to.
You know the field you're running against: Republican incumbent Aaron Houchin, Democrat Brad Meyer, Libertarian Tanya Hudson, and Floyd Taylor, the independent. When you look at that field, what do you believe you offer that voters cannot get from any of the other three candidates?
A voice, a choice. With me, you tell me what to do. I don't have a platform that I can take to you and try to convince you that my platform is right. My entire platform is you tell me what's right. I'm one voice in 750,000, and I don't have the right to tell other people what to do. But as a representative, they have a right to tell me what to do.
Your campaign uses the phrase, not left, not right, just local. I want you to try to explain that, because we're talking about running for Congress. You're going to be voting on national defense, healthcare, taxes, immigration, foreign policy, civil rights. Can someone realistically serve in Congress without eventually having to choose a political side?
I will always be choosing a political side, but it won't be my side. It will be whatever the district decides is the right political side. I mean, technically every issue is political. Every issue has a side. And whether it's right, left, or somewhere in between, it's up to the district to decide where I go.
Let's get into the idea at the center of your campaign, the Congress app. Your proposal that residents of District 9 would have the ability to review legislation, provide verified input, and essentially direct how you vote in Congress. So let's start with the basics. How would this actually work?
Well, there's a live demo up right now at thecongressapp.com. You can get it on your phone or your computer at home or the library. It's actually live and it's semi-functional and written by somebody who doesn't write code for a living, but it's there and you could use it. And I really don't know how to explain it that well. The bills are listed on the site. You go in and you can vote on the bills, which one you like, which one you don't like. You could submit requests. You could submit problems. You can submit requests to have me write a bill, and I'll write it. And then I'll add it to the list, and I'll have the district vote on it. And if the district likes it, it goes to Congress.
I'm going to push back a little bit here because this is hold them accountable. That's what we do. We live in a country where voter turnout can be incredibly low. Low elections sometimes struggle to get 20 or 30% participation. So what happens if Congress is voting on something affecting hundreds of thousands of people, District 9? Only 2,000 people use your app. Are those 2,000 people now speaking for the entire district?
Technically, they would be, but that's not the only way. You can also call, right? Visit the office. Any of the standard ways that you would normally contact a congressman would still be available to you. Somebody in the office will write it down and put it in the app for you if that's how it needs to be.
This gets into a debate that is almost as old as the country itself. When we elect someone to Congress, are we electing them to use their own judgment? Or are we sending them there simply to carry out our instructions? Your campaign clearly leans toward the second option. Why should voters trust the collective judgment of the district more than the judgment of someone they elected to study these issues full time?
I'm only one person out of 750,000. Why should I get to choose for those people? I'm not special. What makes me more representative of the district than the district itself? I mean, I can't really put myself in that position to say, hey, I know everything, because I don't.
I'm going to ask you a deliberately uncomfortable question. What if the voters are wrong? History is full of moments where majorities supported policies we now recognize as deeply unjust. So if the majority of participating voters tell Congressman Taylor to vote for something that you believe violates someone's constitutional or civil rights, do you still cast that vote?
The Constitution and the rule of law is always number one. I can't vote against the Constitution. I just can't. It's just wrong. I can't violate the rule of law. It's wrong. But anything else, I mean, if there's like some kind of ethical issue, maybe I'd require like a supermajority, not just a simple majority. But if they don't like it, they don't like it, and I'll vote the way they say.
Another major part of your campaign is radical transparency. Open books, open code, public records connecting voter input to congressional votes. How transparent is too transparent?
I don't think there is such a thing as too transparent. You should know everything I do, every step I take, every person I have a meeting with, what I say, what they say. If I'm representing you in Congress, you should know everything about it.
You've pledged to reject PAC money and major donors. That sounds great. I agree with it. I talk about money and politics constantly on the show. But here's the problem. Campaigns are expensive. You're running against a sitting member of Congress, candidates backed by established political organizations. How do you compete without access to traditional fundraising machines?
Social media, electronics. I mean, I can only do what I could do for free or for low cost. You won't see me sending out 1,000 mailers or putting up yard signs in every house. It's just not within my financial scope. Now, you might get a text message from me, but that's about as far as it goes. I just have to rely on the will of the people and word of mouth.
Let's talk about the elephant and the donkey in the room, the two-party system. Democrats say voting independent can help Republicans. Republicans say voting independent can help Democrats. Independent candidates get squeezed from both sides. What do you say to someone who likes Floyd Taylor but believes voting for you is wasting their vote?
Well, to that I say, for all practical purposes, the election's already decided. Whether you believe that the Republican is going to win or the Democrat's going to win, it's already decided. Voting for me hurts nothing. It actually, I mean, you might be the only person in the district that thinks the government as it is and the two-party system is broken. If that's the case, then I get one vote, you vote for me, and that's the end of it. But if you're not the only person who thinks that this system is broken, then something might actually change.
I think we can all agree the system is deeply broken. I want to bring this conversation directly back home. One of your proposals involves leveraging NSWC Crane to encourage defense technology spinoffs and small business development. Crane is one of the most important economic engines in the district. What opportunities do you believe District 9 is currently leaving on the table?
That's a good question. Crane is, like you said, one of the biggest employers. They have a huge infrastructure, and I'm sure they could do more. They could spin off more. I'm not seeing a lot of Crane opportunities in Hardensburg, Indiana. So they're not, obviously not everywhere, but they could do more work with the local colleges. They could do more work with the local governments. I mean, there are plenty of things that Crane as a government entity can do that local communities and local governments just can't do on their own.
District 9 is incredibly diverse geographically. Bloomington is different from Bedford. Bedford is different from Corydon. Corydon is different from Lawrenceburg. And scattered between them are rural communities that often feel completely forgotten by Washington. What are the rural voters telling you?
They're telling me that they're tired. They're just tired of all the back and forth, all of the he said, she said, all of the my candidate's better than your candidate. They hate it all. They wish it would all just go away so they could live their lives. That's what they're telling me.
I think that's at the heart of a lot of politics today. Is just leave us alone. Let us live our lives. Government doesn't need to be in doctor's offices, in the school. You've participated in public conversations about science, healthcare, and climate policy during this campaign. Healthcare is also one of the biggest issues facing rural Indiana. What role should the federal government play in making healthcare more affordable and accessible?
Healthcare should be accessible for everybody. The federal government should make sure it's so. I mean, you've visited my site, you've seen some of the bills. I have healthcare bills that guarantee that there are no uninsured people. Everybody gets healthcare. You can have insurance, you can go for the free option. It doesn't really matter. Everybody should have healthcare all the time. But I had to have a carve out in there for the insurance industry, because if you don't let them play, you're not going to get your laws passed.
Now, let's imagine you win. You arrive in Washington. Republicans want your vote. Democrats want your vote. Lobbyists want meetings. Leadership wants loyalty. Everybody wants something. How does Congressman Floyd Taylor avoid eventually becoming part of the system candidate Floyd Taylor is running against?
People control everything I do. Every meeting I take will be public and published. Every lobbyist that I talk to will be logged and published. Anybody who wants my vote will have to talk to the district, because I don't really have a vote to sell. It's the district's vote, and they get to sell it to you. Now, if a lobbyist wants to come to the district and spread money around the district to influence my vote, that's fine. I'm okay with that.
Let's get away from policy. You've been doing this for a while now. You've put yourself out there. You've attended forums. You've answered questions. You've heard criticism. You've probably had at least one moment where you've wondered why the hell you decided to run for Congress. What has this campaign taught you about Floyd Taylor?
Oh, I must be insane. It's been an interesting experience, and I actually enjoy talking to people. Before the campaign, I didn't really talk to a lot of people, but I actually enjoy it. People around here are nice, all of them, both sides. And I guess that's the biggest thing I've learned about myself, not to be afraid to talk to people.
Floyd, the last time you were here, we talked about why you decided to run. So I'm not going to ask you again. Instead, I want you to end with this. You're asking voters to take a chance, not just on Floyd Taylor, but on an entirely different idea of what representation should look like. No major party, no traditional political platform, no promise that you personally have all the answers. Instead, you're asking voters to believe that they should have more direct role in the decisions made in their name. So between now and November, what do you have to prove to the people of Indiana's 9th district for them to believe this isn't just an interesting experiment, but something that could actually work.
The only thing, I really don't think I have to prove anything to them except for the fact that something that they already know is that government is broken. And it's either a fixed race and you know who's going to win, or it's not, and you can change it. And really, the choice is up to the district.
Floyd, thank you for coming back. One of the things I appreciate about having returning guests is that we get to move beyond introductions. The first conversation is about who you are. The second conversation is where we get to start pulling apart the ideas. And Floyd, whether someone watching tonight agrees with your campaign or thinks the entire thing sounds completely impossible, I believe the questions you're raising are worth discussing. What does representation actually mean? Who should have the final say over a congressional vote? How much influence should political parties have? How much influence should money have? And in an age where technology allows people to communicate instantly, should voters have more direct voice in their government than they did 200 years ago? Those are big questions. And frankly, our political system could probably use a few more people willing to ask the big questions. Floyd, I appreciate your willingness to come back, defend your ideas, answer difficult questions, and continue making your case to the people of Indiana's 9th District. Thank you for being a friend of the show, and thank you again for joining us on Hold Them Accountable. And to everyone watching and listening here in Indiana, across the country, and around the world, you don't have to agree with every candidate who comes on the show. I certainly don't. That's not the point. The point is to listen, to challenge ideas, to ask difficult questions, and then to make up your own damn mind. Because democracy doesn't require agreement, it requires participation. So stay informed, ask questions, and as always, hold them accountable.